Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great.
That's good. Sorry I'm a little late. I was cooking dinner.
You are good at cooking?
Yeah, I try. I'm actually on a diet. Like I'm trying to eat healthier. So I had salmon. Do you know what salmon is?
Right. Yes.
Salmon, and I had asparagus. It's like a type of vegetable that's like really long.
Uh, yes.
Oh, you know asparagus?
uh, the networking event.
Yes, we have the networking one. Let me just pull that up.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so before we begin with networking, we have to talk about what it actually means. Do you know what networking means?
I just know net is something about internet, right?
Yes. So the internet is a network of all of these websites that basically give us access to. It's basically this big internet place where we could have access to all these sources, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
So
now,
you mean the networking talking is something about chatting online?
so when you talk to people, one second, I'm just getting my laptop charger.
Okay.
So when you're networking with other people, it means basically like what you do online. So you look for other sources, right? So
Oh yeah.
when you're talking to other people, you're basically looking for other sources. So you're talking to other people, trying to get more information. Just like how you're on the computer, you're trying to get more information. But the only difference is that you're talking to people and not websites. Um,
Oh.
so when I go to a networking event, it's typically like a job fair. A
Mm,
job fair is like something I would go to if I don't have a job. So
mm.
me, I'm a student. I don't have my degree yet, so I would go to a job fair for a full time job. Um,
Oh.
so at the networking event, I have the chance to network, which means I could go to all these different people, all these different companies, and talk to them to see if they can get me a job.
Okay. It's just like a job interviewing on the internet.
So I was comparing it to the internet. It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's in person.
Oh, good.
So the internet has this name network in it because it connects you with other knowledge.
Oh.
So the so this what we're gonna learn about is more about what you do in person, because you're connecting with people to find out more knowledge. You see how they're this similar?
Oh, yes. I know that.
So I talk to a lot of people to see if they have more knowledge about what I could do as a career.
Um.
So how? So are you an English teacher?
Yes.
So how did you get your job?
uh, when I graduated from the college, I just looked for a job in the city because I come from a small town. Okay, and just to look for the information from the newspaper, and I came to this school, and they gave me an interview, and I tried to show myself, and then I have worked here for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not what everyone does to find a job. Obviously, some people when they're in college, when they're at the university, they attend these fairs. The fairs. It's like when there's lots of different vendors and people and companies looking
Yeah.
for employees. So I go to talk with Microsoft, there's Google, maybe there's like Word Tango. I go to their tent and I go, "Oh, what company are you from?" And they might be like, "Oh, I'm from Google, and I'm from Microsoft. I'm from Word Tango. How are you?" And I would like talk to them and then see if they could get me a connection or a job. So exactly that is networking.
Oh, yes, I know that.
So about this lesson, imagine you were in these shoes and you went to one of these job fairs and you were looking for a job. So to warm up, how would you start a conversation with your employer and like try to get a job?
Uh, Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
That is fun. Yes, and maybe I just say, I really appreciate the company.
yeah,
Yeah, and show my love for this company to get my job.
yeah, that's a great idea. Like,
Okay.
oh, I really like what you guys stand for. You guys have a great mission. A mission is like what they is like their goal. Um, anything of that sort. Um, you might be like, "Where do you work?" And they might be like, "Oh, I work at this firm, this business in New York City." Um, so, and then now on the next page, you could ask about what they do. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so this employer that you're speaking with, um, he runs the company. So let's put it in teaching standpoints. So this guy is probably a principal at a school and in New York City, right? Uh, and maybe you ask, "What do you do?" And he says, "Oh, I'm a principal here." And you might ask, "Why do you like working at the school?" What would you imagine one of his responses would be? Why do you think he would like working at a school?
Maybe it's a good chance to communicate with different people to enrich my knowledge and to give me the ability to be a better man. Maybe.
Yeah. Um, so you might ask him, what is a normal day like at his job? So this guy's a principal. So what would you imagine is a normal day for a principal?
And maybe take my school as an example. My principal is busy with different kinds of meetings and deal with the problems between teachers and the students
Yeah,
and then to set a goal for our school. I think maybe the principal of the school is the similar.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some useful expressions. I am a, you add your occupation and you write what company you're from. So in this case, I am a principal at a middle school. I don't really know how to put a company on that. Or you could say, I'm a translator for Word Tango. I'm a whatever. Um, so you just put your I do, you could either say I am a or I do, and you insert the job and you
Oh,
work for this company. You work at this company, either or.
yeah.
Maybe you might talk about what you like about working at this company. I like working at the middle school because I like interacting with children.
Yeah. What I like about working at a school is okay.
So, why don't you tell me more about your job? What do you like about working at your school?
Because I like children, and they are so active and creative, even though they always cause a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That dealing with the troubles is also a good chance for me to grow up. I think.
Right, yeah. It's definitely a growing experience, like you said. And now, what's like a typical day at your school?
Uh, my school is not a public one. Uh, how do you say? It's a private school in our city.
Mm-hmm.
That that maybe it is number one in our city because of high scores of each examinations. And my school day starts with the morning reading, morning reading for English.
Right.
And then we have classes in the evening every day. And uh, maybe I just uh, work work between the classroom and my office and the uh, squares, okay, the playground. And then maybe in the evening, I will go to the dormitory to make sure they sleep well. After that, I can go home. And then another day, the same.
Okay. That's an interesting day, yeah. Um, okay. So, on the next page, on page 4,
Yeah.
um, some other things you might talk about. Um, Maybe you'll ask, what did you think about what did you think about the job fair?
Okay. What do you think about that? Means my ideas or opinions about my job. Is that right?
Yeah, like what did you think about the job fair? What did you think about this company? They're just asking about your opinion about something having to do with with the fair. Um,
Okay.
what is one thing you will take away from the event? Meaning, what is one thing you'll learn from the event?
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, like principals have a really tough job. Maybe they learn that.
Yes, it's a tough job for the teacher
Maybe you'll
because
learn
he
right. Maybe
yeah.
you'll learn that you don't want to be a teacher anymore.
Maybe that I just want to be a teacher, not a principal,
Yeah,
because principal is a tough job.
right. So, other things that they might ask is like, how did you hear about this event? Maybe you found it on the internet. Maybe you found it in the newspaper. Um, Maybe they might
How?
ask like, how did you get here? Did you drive? Did you fly?
Oh yeah. And the third question is that how did you hear about this event?
Mm-hmm.
And how can you answer this question?
So, how did you know the event was going on?
Oh, how did you know this event going on?
So maybe I found it in the newspaper. In the newspaper, it said, "Oh, job fair today."
Oh,
Or maybe they had a sign outside the door that, like,
oh,
in your, or maybe you found in your school, like an advertisement.
oh, I know that. Maybe the job wanted and a teacher, and then I go to how do you say to get it right?
Yeah. Okay, let's
Okay.
go on to the next page. On page 5. So, talk about current events or general topics. So, sometimes when you're talking to these companies, a lot of times you maybe don't know what's going. Maybe sometimes there's some silence.
Mm.
So, this is like something to keep your conversation going. We call it small talk in English. Have you ever heard of small talk?
Yeah, yes.
Small talk is
So,
like,
how's the weather today? Then they go on the conversation.
yeah, exactly. So these are just advice on small talk. So you might be like, what is your take on the government shutdown? The government shutdown is something going on in America right now.
Oh,
So you might ask them how that's going. Um, you might ask them for some advice on local eateries. So maybe you're not from the area, so you might ask them like, "Where's the good places to eat here?" Um,
uh,
or like, "Did you see this team play? Did you see the soccer game?" You know.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe you say, did you hear the news happening in this city?
yeah. So why don't you try to do small talk with me?
Uh, I don't know. Uh, any advice on local eaters? What does eateries mean?
Eateries is just like a place to generalize all the places to eat in town.
Oh, that means the area.
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Only this word refers to just food in the area and not
Oh,
necessarily like the museums and stuff. Any advice on
oh,
local eateries would be restaurants, cafes, any of
I
that
guess.
sort. Local attractions, that could be like museums, monuments.
Oh, I know. That means the area for eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good word.
Yes, eat, eating. Okay. Something about eating.
Yeah.
Mm. So
Okay.
the third one to talk about the current event.
Yeah, so that's like anything going on in China at the time. You know, like
Okay, hot topic in the town or in the city.
yeah, like maybe you guys passed a law or something. Um
Uh,
oh, do you know about the whole controversy um over Dolce Gabbana?
I don't know that.
Dolce Gabbana, it's like a fashion company. When did you hear about the controversy of when they went to Shanghai?
Oh, I know. The eh? We have learned that that word. The underwear for women. What's that?
Are you talking about lingerie?
Yes, yes, lingerie. Good, good, good.
Yeah. There were so Dolce Gabbana had a show in Shanghai, and one
Mm,
of the owners of the company put up something really offensive to the Chinese people, and
okay.
they actually ended up canceling the show. Um, so this could be something on a current event going on in China that you might want to mention. Like,
Okay.
oh,
Maybe
what is
it's a good for women or ladies.
what
It's
was
not
that?
a good for men or something. Some boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to the next page, page 6.
Yeah.
So let's talk about yourself. So tell me about your position here. What do you love about where you work? What do you love most about your work? Do you have any hobbies? What's your favorite holiday and food? So why don't you answer some one of these questions? How about the how about
Maybe.
this one? What's your favorite food?
Okay, my favorite food is gumbao chicken. Do you know that?
Oh yeah, I've
Very
heard of that.
spicy, very spicy one. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think I'm good at cooking some dishes. So when I have time, I cook by myself at home for me and for my family.
Yeah, nice.
So maybe yes, so maybe my favorite food is much, not one. A lot of my favorite food.
Oh,
Okay.
you have many different foods. Yeah. Okay. You could also talk about sometimes you have similarities between you and your employer. You know when you meet someone new and in order to warm up to them, you think of similarities. So maybe they thought that the incident that I told you about Dolce Gabbana was really awful. So you might
Yes.
be like, oh, yeah, I felt the same way. Um, or maybe the employer's from your same city. Um, so you'd be like, oh, you're from that city too? Me too. Which part?
Yeah.
Um, and then maybe you guys have the same degree. Like both of you guys have education degrees.
Yes.
You could compliment them. This is the other section. Um, wow, I really like that shirt. That is a great jacket. You say really interesting stuff. You seem so organized. I love your
They say,
work.
oh, beautiful on this dress.
Yeah. And then just some questions for you. So when you're speaking to this employer, like, are you smiling? Did you learn their name? Um,
Yeah.
did you have an open stance? Which means were you talking like this? Like, hi, my name is Matt, and I like to do this.
Okay.
So make sure your hands and feet are spread apart on your sides. Um, maintaining eye contact. Eye contact is very important.
Yes, very important. And some body languages are very important to show your feelings.
Yeah, it's very important. Okay, let's skip the comprehension and then go on to the discussion.
Mm. I just read the sentence.
So we're gonna go on to page 8. We're gonna skip that comprehension section.
Yes, yes, I got it. Number one, where were they arguing?
Oh
Arguing
no,
about money.
we're gonna skip that page.
Oh, skip that. Okay. Have you been to a networking event? Not really.
No.
Oh, not really,
So
because I got this job from the newspaper and just have a test, had a test, and then give a lesson.
right.
So,
Um,
and
I don't think
that's a general.
I don't think
Okay.
I've been to a networking event either.
Oh,
I've gone to like a club networking event, like a place where like a lot of organizations on my at my school um huddled and made tents. So I would go to each tent and be like, "Oh, what does your organization do?" Um
oh,
so that was one thing, but anyways, let's move on. Discuss a general topic with your teacher, like how's the weather in China?
uh, it's cloudy
Hmm.
and really cold these days.
Yeah, it's cold here too.
Yes, but during the spring festival, the weather is very fine. Sunny days every day.
um, okay, and let's discuss occupations with your teacher. What are some occupation? Let's think. What would you be if you weren't a teacher?
I, when I was a child, I just wanted to be a policewoman. I think it's a cool job for the girls
Nice,
to
yeah.
fight with bad people and to help the people in trouble. I think it's a great thing.
And then now for the last one, we discussed this a little bit, but is body language important?
Yes, I think it's very important because body language is very useful when you go abroad and you are not good at the foreign language, and
Yeah,
you can use your because body language is all over the world. It is used all over the world, and when you don't know how to express your feelings or your thoughts, you can use body language. It works really. Okay.
right.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the last question for the lesson. So now We missed 2 lessons over the weekend. Would you like to do the next lesson now and then make it up, or would you rather do it another time?
How about tomorrow?
Tomorrow? I can see. What do you want to do tomorrow at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, we could do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, tomorrow 9 a.m. Yep.
Okay, so see you tomorrow.
See you then.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.